How you doing? Ben Burnside here, and Amped Vlog, and please make sure to check us out at grooveworks.com/amped. Crazy producers from around the world, specializing in every different format, and we'll do the same thing with them. I'm just going to start it off, hopefully. All right. All right. So today, I want to talk about how I look at processing a voiceover and getting a good sound that I like. It may be a sound that you like. It may be a sound that, I don't know, you don't like. Now, I'll be honest with you. This is the third time I recorded this video. The first one was like 30 minutes long. I promise not to keep it that long. And then the second one, the dog came into the room. Gimpy Oscar. He's limping because, well, he's just gimpy right now. But he'll be okay. Now, let's talk about this voiceover. This is Star 99.7 in Charleston, where the great Steve Crumley is programming. And I don't do the voiceover for there. Dr. Dave does it, but I decided to read a piece of copy myself. And I'm not trying to necessarily make myself sound like a VO guy, but I want to get to a sound that I like. Now, people like gear. Let's talk about gear real quick. I am currently, and I recorded this with a Manley Ref C microphone. Okay. I have no processing going on the microphone. This is just how it sounds. It's going into a Grace M905 reference monitor controller, which actually has a Grace 801 mic pre built inside. I'm using it. It's really clean. It's just straightforward. Nothing else to it. KeepItSimple.com. Now, that's going straight into a Symphony IO Mark 1. And that's where you're also hearing me come through. So the mic pre of the 905 is going into the Apogee, and the Apogee is what you're hearing from the Manley Ref C microphone. Pretty cool, right? Now you'll hear some room noise. I look, I'm not a voice guy, so don't criticize me for it, okay? Anyways, we're 2.5 minutes, so let's keep this thing going. Here's what I previously recorded ahead of time. Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat. Star 99.7 and Manta.com only play the best new music first. Turn up and keep up. Okay, not bad. You know, nice for just a straight recording, no processing on it. But as you see all of this stuff going on right here, I did some processing. So let's just go ahead and tackle this thing.
Tell them on Facebook
off the bat. I like the Renaissance Axe. It's kind of like the LA2A, and which is my favorite compressor, whether it's plug-in or hardware. On vocals, it's just great. It does something that I haven't heard many other compressors do, hardware or software, and the Axe comes close, right? So three very simple things going on with the Axe. There's threshold, which actually pushes up the gain a little bit, gives it some bite and some oomph, kind of pushes things up. Attack, of course, how quickly you want the compressor to react. And gain. This gain does not go up. It only goes down to compensate for the threshold. How about that? Now, I basically brought the threshold up a little bit. Again, I don't want as many peaks and valleys in voiceover. You want to make sure everything is articulated to the point you hear it, but definitely not distortion. So that's why I have the gain pulled down to compensate for the threshold, pushing the audio up a little bit. And I have the attack set at 10 milliseconds, just to keep things just kind of even, but I want the very beginning of a piece of audio to get through. So let's hear it with the Axe.
Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat. Star 99.7 and Manta.com only play the best new music first. Turn up and keep up.
It's subtle, but it works, right? And enough subtle things equal a big thing. And that's what a lot of producers don't understand and accept. You just don't have to do a lot to get things to start moving. Now, let's keep moving. I pulled open the VEQ from Waves. I started at 10 kilohertz to give it a little bit of air. 2.7 kilohertz. There was something I learned from 2.7 when I had my Bax EQ, the hardware version. I thought I would get into the real esoteric frequencies like the 10Ks, 12Ks, so forth and so on, 18, whatever, and get that air. But I always got air out of 2.7. And 2.7 is kind of one of my favorites. Went to 390 here for a little bit of low mid, and 100 with a bell curve. Both ends of the EQ. I like to have bell curves, and I'm not high passing anything because my voice is not very low. Let's hear it. All right, let's see what we got.
Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat. Star 99.7 and Manta.com only play the best new music first. Turn up and keep up.
Very, very subtle, but it's there. Right now, it feels like a little bit like things got pulled back, but I had to compensate for all the gain that I pushed up there. So you're going to have to really kind of listen a little bit. But since we did that, we needed to kind of bring things back. And I did that with the FG Red from Slate Digital, one of my favorite compressors also. Let's check it out.
Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat. Star 99.7 and Manta.com only play the best new music first. Turn up and keep up.
All right, now, at that point, there's some funky things going on. I want things to just be the voiceover. So I threw the Easy Gate, the 6050 from McDSP in there, and I just kind of want to keep things clean. So let's hear it.
Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat. Star 99.7 and Manta.com only play the best new music first. Turn up and keep up. Turn up and keep up. Music first. Turn up and keep up.
That's where you can really hear it kind of clamping down, toward the end there. And it's just enough for me. Now, let's go to reverb. And I always bust out my reverbs. I do not put them directly on tracks. That's like one of the worst things you can do, in my opinion, when I don't have to, right? So we have the vintage Verb Suite Classics from Slate Digital. Sounds really good. I actually, from my guy Jay Douglas, I use his voice a lot of times, and so I have this kind of starting point that I did with voiceovers. And this reverb is not a big, super lush reverb. It's a reverb that's kind of short, and it's meant to kind of put my voice in your face, opposed to putting me in a big room and then kind of trying to slide me in your face. It's short and it's right there. So let's hear it.
Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat. Star 99.7 and Manta.com only play the best new music first. Turn up and keep up. Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat.
Right, so that's kind of cool. I like that reverb. I made it wide. I mean, you can hear that. I'll make it narrow, and you can hear the difference in the spatiality of where it sounds like I'm standing if you use your theater of mind that way. Let's hear it.
Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat. Star 99.7 and Manta.com only play the best new music first. Turn up and keep up.
I did adjust it a little bit, I think, from where I originally had it, but I like it right there. You can hear it's in a space, but it kind of pushes the voiceover a little bit more forward. And I'm only at negative 23.5. I generally don't go any further than 20 dB of gain on reverb on a bus. Is after a while, it's just swimming. It's just swimming. It's just stupid. And I don't like that. Anyways, so we got that. We got some reverb. We got this. We got that. And next thing we're going to do is parallel compress the voiceover to get a little bit more oomph out of it, right? We want to get as much out of the voiceover as we can get. So let's hear it again.
Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat. Star 99.7 and Manta.com only play the best new music first. Turn up and keep up.
Yeah. Now we're starting to get somewhere, aren't we? Right, right. And I don't have it turned all the way up. I don't need that because if I do, a lot of the mid frequencies start to build up in the voiceover and it sounds really muddy. Now, I'll 12 and a half, negative 12 and a half is where I was at. Let's hear it and I'll turn it up and you'll hear what I'm talking about.
Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat. Star 99.7 and Manta.com only play the best new music first. Turn up and keep up.
I'm going to keep it at 14. I like that. 14 sounds good. And we'll do that. And we have a parallel EQ. And,
Tell them
on. And I have stuff on CNET going on with YouTube. Anyways, I picked a parallel EQ from McDSP with their G, the Compact G. And the EQ mode I use is the Neve EQ. Right? I'm not even screwing around with the compressor. I'm turning it off. I don't care about it. All I want is some EQ, and all I want to do is add a little sparkle, low gain in the high mids, just to give it that air that everybody loves and wants, but without sacrificing the lows. Right? I don't want to sacrifice the lows. That's the last thing I want to do. Okay, and it's basically because I just don't have a big meaty voice like a Dr. Dave or whatever. So I need to retain the lows. Now, one quick thing: the more you turn up the highs, the less the lows are impactful, and the more you turn up the lows, the less the highs are impactful. So you have to. There's a bit of a balancing act. You can't have too much of the other one without the other one suffering. All right, so let's hear it.
Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat. Star 99.7 and Manta.com only play the best new music first. Turn up and keep up. Tell them on Facebook and say it on Snapchat. Star 99.7 and Manta.com only play the best new music first. Turn up and keep up.
It's subtle, but it works. It works. And we have a final VO. So this is how I like to get started. I don't necessarily take 15 minutes to get started on a voiceover, but if it's someone that's new to me, I do go through this process and, I'll save it as a template or whatever, and it'll give me a starting point because every recording is not the same, but they can be similar. All right. This has been... Hit me up at Ben@BBTK Creative if you ever want to have a couple of questions or whatever. Superstars with the Amped producers at Grooveworks. You can always check us out. And hey, man, we'll have another one real soon. Peace.